Alright, in this lesson we're going to be taking a look at formulas, which is one of the more powerful features of Excel. One recommendation that I would say to do is to make sure that you are using a keyboard, because it can get a little awkward with the iPad being able to see different things that are happening when you're typing these in. So the first thing we want to do is add up the line totals here on the right to get a total to calculate a sales tax of 7.5% after we totaled those things. So we're going to start off by typing in an equal sign. So anytime we want to use formulas, we're always going to start off with an equal sign. Then, since we want to add, there's a shorthand version of this, which is called sum, which we'll look at again in the next lesson. So we're going to start by clicking in the word sum, S-U-M, and you're going to see a bunch of formulas that the computer recognizes popping up. So we're going to click on sum. And this is kind of where it gets a little weird, because it's looking for certain things, but we actually don't really want to set this up the way that it's looking for. So we can tell it which cells to reference. So I'm going to select cell D3, and then I'm going to click and drag on the circle in the lower right hand corner to create a range. So I'm going to say I want to add that range D3 through D6 together. And it's asking for a bunch of other things, but we're not really going to worry about it. So we're going to just press enter for right now. So we're going to add those cells together. So you can see it's $321.95. Now we're going to go back and edit that. So if I single click, you're going to notice below our ribbon in the middle of the screen, I just select it. You can see my cursor. It's highlighted in green. I'm going to modify this. So I have the sum. It's adding those together first. Then I'm going to multiply it by 7.5%. And then press enter. So now it's working as it should. So using order of operations, going to add together the sum of the line totals first and then multiply it by 7.5%. In the total, we want to use another formula again. So this one's easier than before. So just like before, we're going to start with the formula. We're going to do equals, and then we're going to type in sum, S-U-M, select, and this time we're going to do the line totals through the tax. So we're including the totals of each item and then incorporating the tax as well. And press enter. So we got $346.10. So that would be your bill, and then including the tax. Now we need to do sort of the trickiest part, is take a 10% discount off the total. Now, because there's math involved with this, there's a bunch of different ways that you can write this and get it to come out the same. So you could do like the total and then minus 10%, but you'd have to use some more parentheses. So the easiest way to do this is a little counterintuitive almost, which is to actually do an equal sign, and then in parentheses, or without using parentheses, we can just click the total, and then instead of subtracting 10% or multiplying it by 10%, which would just give us 10% of the total, we're going to do the inverse of that and multiply by 90%. So it's still going to mathematically work out the same, but it's a little bit backwards to the way that we typically would think that operation would work. So now if I press enter, I can see what a 10% discount of that would look like off the total. Now, some of these other cells we didn't actually work with, but the real power of Excel is once these things are linked with formulas, we can go back and edit these other numbers. So if I went to more buffalo chickens dip, for example, I could type in 27 here and switch, and you're going to see that all of those cells updated automatically. So once you have one of these kind of set up the way that you need it to, it makes it really, really flexible and really more usable in the long run, instead of calculating all this stuff out by hand. So once you're there, you can go ahead and save it, and you're done with this lesson.